But the secret story, which isn't really secret, the exciting story about this song is that I got to play it for a special person who will become evident when I play the song. And that blew my mind. But actually, it's a song, it's got a good backstory. It's sort of one of my more recent ones. I did it, I wrote this a few years ago, and I wrote it after the Kickstarter record. So, like, basically any music that I've written after the Kickstarter record has just, like, gone into the abyss. Because I haven't made another record. I have a little collection of stuff, but I wound up putting this on the record that I made with Neil, which was just this hodgepodge of live stuff.
Which was amazing.
Yes, and actually it was before the Kickstarter record. So this just didn't, this was just too weird to fit onto that one. But I wrote it in my apartment in Boston when I was home from some tour, and I had been doing a lot of interviews. And some journalists are good, most journalists aren't very good. And even if they're good writers, they're not always great interviewers, and they think that they're asking these really original questions. And it's so boring. But also, like, you evolve. So here's the thing, when you're asked the same question 500 fucking times, your answer evolves from time one when you're like, what a fascinating, let me tell you about my influences. I'm glad someone's finally asked to the 500th time where you actually start challenging yourself because you have your stock answer that you figured out over the first 50 times where you like narrowed it down to like, this is obscure enough because you don't want to just say like the Beatles because that's fucking boring. Because of course the Beatles are an influence on you and everyone else in the Western Hemisphere, so like you want to pick something that's a little more personal, but you don't want to appear that you're being hip. So you actually won't cite things that are too hip. You'll kind of go underneath and somewhere in the middle. And then, but then also you will realize like years and years into it that there are these huge influences that you just never thought of. Especially I've found like, I started thinking lately about how much I was influenced by television. And
the
like,
band or the medium.
Right. So usually when someone asks you who your influences are, they're expecting to hear songwriters, musicians, maybe other, you know, like hoity-toity art genres, but they're not expecting to hear like the Brady Bunch. It was an influence. How, I do not know, but it's fucking like, it's burned in there. I know that house.
Is it the hair?
It's not the hair. No one in the Brady house had hair like this. Alice at night.
She's really too young to have ever heard of the Brady Bunch.
But anyway, so this song was inspired by one of those ones where it crept up on me and I was like, oh fuck. I've actually, and it made me feel really guilty because I was like, this was such a huge influence and I've been short shrifting it. And it didn't even really calculate in there, which is like, I'm not, you know, which begs an interesting question, why? Don't know. And now I have to see if I can have the song. People keep asking me why I do things like I do. All of this measuring influence, I forgot you. You and me lying outside the Monhegan Hotel. distracting me a little bit. Just though I love you. Because I'm just so conscious of you being 2 feet from my head. Do you remember the next line?
Oh.
Give her a fun.
Let me start again. No, I got it. I never know how it starts. I couldn't carry a tune, but I thought I could sing. No one had told me that thoughts were a good bad thing. No, I had it and then I started over again.
Pass
Did you
it on.
Google?
About to say.
Yep.
Show. Oh, okay. It's gonna hit me while I'm Googling.
Oh, that profound thought.
No, I have it. Yeah. So I hope it sticks in there for the next second. I couldn't carry a tune, but I thought I could sing. No one had told me that thoughts were a good bad thing. I started noticing grown-ups would smile and cringe. You taught me that you could say anything you could think. I don't remember my friends from gymnastics class, but I remember when Deanie was at the school dance party, feeling her up in the locker room. Margaret Ward counting hats in the synagogue. Davy was stirring the tea that she wouldn't drink. Tony was watching his so-called friends shoplifting. All of them lifted my head, quietly whispering, "You are not so strange." I don't remember the details of 7th grade. All I remember is lying and being afraid. And I can't forget Catherine and Michael going all the way. Stuff on the scale in the bathroom alone that day. Karen pretending to puke so her dad would stay. Margaret arguing with God while she masturbated. All of them mixed up in my shelf like a love letter. All of them saying, "Amanda, you know better. You are not to blame. The world's a vicious place. So go on and think how you want. You will not be alone with your thoughts. Well, you will, but you won't in a way, 'cause a girl thought it too in a book that the library bought. People keep asking me why I do things like I do. From now on, I'll tell them the cure and I'll talk about you. Judy, I can't believe sometimes that I'm an adult. And then girls like I was think that I have this shit figured out.